Lord, have mercy, have mercy. What is going on in the fucking world, bro? Christians are being killed. You see how demonic that shit is? Does that even make sense? 50 because of their belief. So people are out here trying to convince. You can't convince me that the God of the Bible ain't real. Cause why would you want to kill somebody because of that? Evil rules this world, bro. This is evil. This is treacherous. Lord, have mercy.
Another 50 Christians have been gruesomely murdered in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria. Frank Uto, a Nigerian lawyer and native of Yelawata, joins us now. Frank, these 50 that have been killed recently, you were talking with me before we got started about the manner in which they were killed. It wasn't, a bomb or something. This was a gruesome event. Can you tell me how these 50 people died?
The way they kill our people is in the most horrific, the most gruesome, the most cruel manner anyone could ever think. It will make even the devil to shiver. Because what they do is that when they come around, you run into your hut, into your house. And then what they do is that they will now, cycle the house with fear. They will lit fire on the house. And then when you are coming out, they will now hack you down with machete. So they're cutting you as if they're cutting a piece of wood. Not as even they're killing a wild animal. You don't even kill a wild animal that way. So they'll bust your brains with machete and you see spillage of brains. I believe you've seen some of these very horrific pictures. They are
And these fucking people, they're just so fucking wicked. You're happy to literally murder an innocent person because of their fucking beliefs. And you're trying to convince that what you're doing is right? You're trying to convince that what you believe in is right? Shit, man. Hell no. That ain't right. That ain't right.
graphic. I have hundreds of them in my phone right now. These are my siblings. These are my cousins. These are people I know so well. I know almost 80% of these people. As a matter of fact, some of them, I spoke to some of them a week before that thing happened. And anytime we speak, we talk with dread. We know that we are living on time bomb. We know that these things will come again. So every time I try to give them an advice, to keep their eyes open. But that was what happened. There are two of my aunties who were pregnant. One was pregnant with a twin.
Oh my God.
With twins. They split open the stomach, they removed the twins, and then slaughtered the twin. So that's what's been happening. And when they are doing this, they begin to
You think I got people I love who are Christians? You think you safe? If they're doing that shit in Nigeria, they're gonna bring that shit to America. It's already happening. Look who runs the world. Look what's being promoted. Look what's being allowed. And you're trying to convince me that it's a lie. Your God is telling you to do this shit.
fight Allah Akbar, which unfortunately has become an internationally recognized slogan and motto for terrorists. It may have good intention. The words in Arabic says Allah is great or something like that. But unfortunately, it has become the most universally accepted slogan and motto for jihadists. So they'll be slaughtering these people and be chanting Allah Akbar. That's what we've been facing. And unfortunately, the government...
There was just a CIA agent. She said that, I'm going to try to say it as understandingly as possible. God help me. She said that there are terrorist groups that came into America and they're all around. And we don't know when it's going to happen, but there will be attacks here, all. It's going to be like 9/11, but places everywhere. They want to destroy us. They want to kill us. They want to end the human race. This isn't right. This isn't right at all.
Our country, the government of our state is doing extremely nothing about this because they would just want to be politically correct. Because the kinsmen of these people are the same people who constitute the top echelon of the Nigerian political structure, business structure, and institutional structure. So you find a lot of our people who are so reluctant to do something about this because they want to be politically correct. They want to have at every time political benefits and personal aggrandizement.
I truly wonder at times when is this all gonna end, bro. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not in maybe the perfect place that I need to be with God, but this has to end, bro. This has to stop, and the only way it's gonna stop is by the world being destroyed again. People are so judgmental. People hate you because you believe in Jesus Christ. It's not fucking normal, bro. That's not normal. Something is not right. You could feel it in the atmosphere. You could feel it anywhere you go. You got to do your studies. You got to pay attention. You got to know history. Don't let nobody tell you that history isn't important, because history will explain what is happening today and why, and it's going to get worse. The children, the innocent mothers, the innocent fathers, uncles, grandmas, aunts.
So that's what we've been facing. So like I said earlier, we lived with this. We've been living with it before now. Do you know that before the incident, I'm sorry, maybe I may be digressing, but before the incident of June 13 and 14, before that massacre, 2 weeks earlier, a retired army officer in my own village of Yerwata, who was my late father's very close friend, was in his compound just going through his phone that night. And because of the beam, the light of the phone, was shining on his face, these jihadis came to his compound, shot him on the leg, so he ran into his room. So, we're very poor people. Our houses are made from mud. We don't have houses made of strong bricks. So even when you kick the wall, it will break. So many of our houses, we don't even have window frames. So like in his own window frame, what was there was just a mosquito net. So when he fell into his room, they now went through the mosquito net, cut the mosquito net, went into the room, butchered him, butchered his son who was sleeping earlier, and butchered his wife. And then they took some stuff from the house. And do you know, the next day in Uday, a neighboring community to us, that's our ward headquarters, Uday, which was like 5 kilometers away from Yerwata, a village woman was going to the farm to fetch firewood, and she saw one of these jihadis, the Fulani, with blood stains on his clothes. So she went back and raised alarm to the village youth that she saw this Fulani guy trying to kickstart a motorbike that stopped. So he was trying to kickstart it, and when she walked past, she saw blood stains all over his body and even on the bike. So that is a ground for suspicion, of course. So immediately our youth ran to the place, met this guy, gave him some little beatings, and they were able to extract confession from him. He confessed that they carried out an attack in Yerwata, that's my own village, which was like 4 kilometers away from the village he was caught. They carried out an attack on Yerwata the previous night. They killed that retired army officer, and this bike was given to him by one of the military guys in Uday. Yeah, a detachment of military. So one of them is his kinsman, is a fellow Fulani, is a Muslim officer. So the youth took the bike with him and went to where the military guys are stationed and accosted that particular military officer. His name is Suleiman. And said, look, this is what you've been accused of. So the Suleiman gave a very preposterous kind of excuse by saying he gave out the bike to this guy yesterday because the guy came here and said one of his brothers was beaten by a snake. And so he gave me the bike to take the brother to the hospital. Now you don't know that guy, but you've released your bike to him. Who is that his brother who was beaten by the snake? No one could see that person. Which hospital did he take him to? None. So we reported this to the military top echelon in my state capital in Makurdi, which was also headed by another Fulani. That's how these guys are strategic. By another Fulani officer. And that was how the story died a natural death. So far, nothing has been done about it. And so far, we've even forgotten about it.
Wow. Well, Frank. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to have you back on because these stories just keep happening. I'm getting really frustrated. I can't imagine how your frustration just that this happens day after day, week after week, month after month. We just did a story about this a few days ago with Masara about a different incident. This just keeps happening. But there is something. Lastly, again, we're going to have you back on. But lastly, there is an event happening in DC, which is again at least a small step in the right direction. Can you tell us what's happening in DC in closing?
Okay, so the groups are the TruthNigeria.org and Equipping the Persecuted, organizing a seminar, a meeting on exactly what is happening.
Yo, this is weird. This is weird. It's wrong. It's odd. It's Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Christians are being killed by, and I'm trying to be careful with my words, by one of the biggest religions in the world. Christianity is number one biggest religion in the world. Look at the industry. All the industries. Who's on top? And then the military are involved. So if the military is involved, their sergeants are involved. Who's above the sergeants? Da 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 da. Who's above the da 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 da? Who is the Y'all stay safe out here in America, in any country you in. And there's going to be a lot of lives lost. There's going to be a lot more murderings and killings, but those people, they must be right with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I want to believe that they are, at least. And sometimes things happen for a mass awakening, for it to have attention brought to it. Not saying it should happen, but God always has a plan, and our souls, our bodies will go back to ash one day eventually. And there will be examples, just like our ancestors who were enslaved. They are examples of what the past looked like. They went through things that we don't have to go through right now. So that's our time to go through things for the next generation and the next generation. Take care of yourselves. Trust God. Be careful with the people you're dealing with. Careful with the information that you give out. Yahweh, the only way. Oh, that was a horrible wink. I am Ahava.